the head coach of the Lions.
He was being for real.
He spoke after the game about the mindset in going for it. What is it, 4 out of 5 times on 4th downs they converted in that game last night? Here he was.
Look, I told the guys knew, players knew, coaches knew. Listen, don't ride the wave. You know, we could be up 2 scores, we could be down 2 scores, but just because we're one or the other, we got to play our style of game going in, what we felt like we needed to do, what I felt like we needed to do. And so that meant the risk was there. And, and you fell in negative territory, you're trying to hold them to a field goal. But I knew that was how I wanted to play that team with where we were at.
That was 2 really good teams, by the way.
Yeah.
And give Detroit a ton of credit for being able to win that game, because that was a very, very well-played game, both sides.
Buddy, man. Jordan Love made some throws in that game where you were just like, my God, that was unbelievable.
He's a guy.
I mean, the one where I believe it was like Jack Campbell who had pressured, and he kind of just – by the way, with perfect ball security, like the type of stuff they teach you in quarterback drills that no one actually uses in a game. I was like, oh, all right, there it is. And they just dropped an absolute dime on a crossing route. But is it fair to say, is Green Bay the second best team in the NFC North? I know Vikings fans will get upset when I make that statement.
Yes.
But
yes.
It's hard to debate it, but I do think that Minnesota can contend for it. But I certainly think that after last night, it is a foregone conclusion that Detroit is solidified as the best team in the NFC. I will say
the best team in the NFL.
You think?
The way they're playing right now? Yeah. They've won 11 in a row.
Yeah, you could be right. I don't know. I like Buffalo right now, man. I don't know why I like Buffalo so much, but I like Buffalo. And for what it's worth, Kansas City hasn't looked to be the most impressive in the way that they win games, but Kansas City is still Kansas City. I might even go with Kansas City as the best in the league.
By the way, the Vikings did beat Green Bay early in the season, though. It was tight. Just saying.
Like, my thought on watching that game last night was for a couple of things. Dan Campbell, all the criticism he got after the NFC title game, and he's too risky, he's too this, he's too that. I just love the fact that he's like,
stay true to himself.
That's who I am. We are. It is what it is. Like, we're going to live by the sword, die by the sword kind of mentality.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it's worked.
If you're going to live by the sword, why wouldn't you die by it?
If you're hiring him to do what he does and he believes in that team, and they've got the O-line, even with, they've got, they had 17 players on IR going into that game last night.
He finds such balance with what he does, man. It's so hard to, and listen, Green Bay's defense they were holding up at times. They were doing what they needed to do at times. They made that game hard on Detroit. They just keep coming, bruh.
They're going to see one of 2, either Green Bay or Minnesota, I believe, in the postseason again. So if they see Green Bay again,
Green Bay could clip them, man.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a good team, man.
Because there is a familiarity there. And
that boy Jacobs is a goon, a goblin. What's a goon to a goblin? Nothing.
What?
You ain't never heard that from Lil Wayne? Anyway. That dude be running that ball, man. But I would say this: if they had, and I know y'all like, man, why does he keep going back to this? But I think it's the reason why Minnesota's so good right now in a lot of ways. If you had the dimensions, the multi-dimensions that Aaron Jones brings to your backfield, him and Josh Jacobs in the backfield would be ridiculous. Their team would be on the next level if some way, somehow they were able to have kept Aaron Jones and brought in Josh Jacobs. Because that's what you're seeing with Detroit. I mean, those 2 backs, they're 2 different styles of backs, but my goodness, that is such a dynamic backfield they have, man. They stay healthy. Those 2 guys stay healthy, and you're always going to have a chance because Jared Goff doesn't have the pressure of having to win the game with his arm. There's so many different things you can do with what those backs bring to the table, and they have different skill sets, and it just allows for you to open up your offense, and it is such a headache for a defense to have to deal with that type of a backfield. You remember when they had Allstott and Wark done in the same backfield? I loved it, but I hated it at the same time. because there's so many different things that they can do with those types of backs, and they bring such different skill sets to the table, and I think that's what you have in Detroit, man. They've done. I thought Jahmyr Gibbs was dope in college, man. When he was like in Alabama, I mean, I was like, why isn't he talked about more than what he is? Was it his size? I didn't get it, but man, that type of it almost seems like he could be the new prototype of what today's back could be, and maybe Saquon is maybe the maybe a little bit more because he's bigger. So, like, you can bring that physical component to it as well as that speed and quickness to getting to the outsides. But, I mean, their backfield makes them such a dangerous team, man.
Why is Christian Watson able to get open downfield every single game? Like, every game.
I mean, he's fast. There's that.
He is fast. And he's big.
Like, what's his yards per catch for the season? I think it's, like, over 20. Like, every time he touches the ball, it's a 20-yard pickup. Like, it's just like for some reason, like he just continues to get open and nobody.
Well, they take shots to him. Yeah, I mean, it's part of it.
He's a big dude too.
He's big. Yeah, he's tall.
Yeah. I mean, he's the one that's built like a wide receiver one, and he was drafted, I think, to be their receiver one. It's just he hasn't been able to stay healthy. He hasn't been 100% consistent, but he definitely could be. Here's the hard thing about the Aaron Jones conversation is Jones got to his second contract and then they moved on because you couldn't keep both Jones and Jacobs. Like, remember, Jahmyr Gibbs was a draft pick, and David Montgomery was signed. So, if Green Bay wanted to do that in the future, they could. They just got to draft another one, right? That they feel like is kind of similar or has that different skill set, or has a combination of backs.
A good pull. I don't know. I don't know that you just have a Jahmyr Gibbs in the draft every year, though. That's the thing. Like, is there anybody out there right now like that?
Genty would be an interesting comparison because he's the young man who's going to be a Heisman finalist and is playing for Boise State. I mean, he's not tall. He's 5'9", 210 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever he is. But I mean, he exudes all those like qualities you're looking for,
like
in a
that
back.
Quick burst, like quickness and movement.
And he's got the kind of breakaway speed, like home run hitting speed too. So I'll be curious to see him in person today, or later on tonight to see what he looks like. But there's a few backs that I think have some of the qualities. I mean, again, everyone's different. Like no one's going to be exactly like Jahmyr,
but I'm saying like that small scat, like like how like in our day, like when we're watching like what like an Eric Metcalf would be. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like one of those guys. Like it's like woo, like out of there. Like dude is quick. Like toss him the ball, throw him the ball, whatever, screens, whatever, man. Dude can find the holes in the defense. And I mean quick, just quick, bouncy dudes. I hated playing against quick, bouncy dudes, man, because they make you look bad. You see the way he had the dude hugging for air left? Dude that fell onto his knees. What you reaching for, man?
Who?
I don't know what the name of the defender was. but Jahmyr Gibbs had you ain't see that?
Oh, you talking about Jahmyr Gibbs?
He had the dude chasing ghosts, man. Well, you got a back that may have you chasing ghosts out there, and it's on live camera. That ain't nothing fun, man. That's stressful. That's stressful. You don't want to be on somebody's highlight film where you hugging for somebody and they ain't there. He don't be there. Now, I'd rather get Jerome Bettis or Mike Allstott. Hell, I'd rather hit Lorenzo Neal than to have to deal with a dude that can make you miss like that. I don't know.
I mean, if you're
it's stressful, man.
If you're certain people, you'd rather have Derrick Henry too. Up top, Brady. Yeah, that's right. Big one for us.
I didn't get that.
Old Cooper DeJean.
Oh, if you. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Form tackling extraordinaire. Huh. Derrick Henry.
I wasn't even sure he was going there either.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were at with that. But I got you. Okay. All right.
It's not gonna
that means he could get all of them, huh? Up top.
Not going to stiff arm us. Not happening.
You're not going to run us over.
It's no Josh Norman you're dealing with.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I see what you did there.
Derrick Henry got that work.